What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Greyman Operations. Today we're going to be talking about 5 key factors of firearm ownership, especially in South Africa, that you might not be told or advised about when you become a new firearm owner, and even some things that experienced firearm owners don't practice. Guys, before we get into that, I want to say this pack, I'm kitting it out as a 12-24-hour go bag. It's a very cool pack from Nightcore. I don't know how much you can see inside there. Very cool pack from Nightcore. Confirmed, I'm going to be giving away 4 of these next month. That is in September to my patrons. So if you are a patron, you'll stand a chance to win one of these every week next month. I am going to put some rations in there, some emergency rations, MREs in there for you. So that's definitely happening. And then at the end of August, for my patrons, giving away a Holosun 47K. A red dot. I might also, if there is budget, I might also pay to have that red dot mounted on your pistol if you win it. So if you want to become a patron and stand a chance to win those things, first link in the video description below if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook or Instagram, it's the first comment. I also have to say a big congratulations to a good buddy of mine, JC Lampre from Bravo Tactical Africa. Thursday last week, he won the EFC Light Heavyweight Championship via guillotine choke, which for me, someone who's done a lot of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in their life, is quite nice to see. I'm glad the ground game is still strong. JC is the main guy at Bravo Tactical Africa. We've trained together many times. He's been instrumental in my firearm training journey. Really nice guy. So well done to you, JC. It's good to see someone from the EDC/firearm community making headlines in the entertainment industry as well and doing a really good job. I do also know, guys, that you are patiently waiting for the Southwest Holsters Cobra review. I recently found out this week that James is doing light-bearing versions of these holsters, and I'm going to get my hands on one in this coming week, and then I'll do the review next week if James doesn't come up with something else crazy, because I feel there might be some differences in concealment between the light bearing and the non-light bearing, and I want to put that in the video. Let's get to this video. 5 key things that people might not tell you as you become a new firearm owner, or 5 things that even most experienced firearm owners aren't practicing. Number 1 is you have to recognize your responsibility to capability. Guys, if you're a firearm owner in South Africa, you have to be capable. You have to be trained. Okay, we live in a country that sometimes doesn't always legally give the best support to the civilian firearm owners. So you can't be inaccurate, you can't make mistakes. If you are unused to firing your firearm, if you don't know where the trigger breaks, if you don't practice your draw strokes, if you don't have the right medical skills for follow-up actions, owning a firearm can become a very daunting and even dangerous thing to do. So if you are a new or current firearm owner, I want you to please recognize your responsibility. It's not an option. It's your responsibility. Just like if you drive a car, it's your responsibility to drive responsibly. If you own a firearm, it's your responsibility to own that firearm responsibly. So please ensure you get the training. The second thing that very few people are told when they purchase a firearm is expect carrying a firearm to be less comfortable than not carrying a firearm. Your firearm really goes from small to big very quickly, okay? And people think that carrying this kind of thing is going to be as comfortable as not carrying it. That's not the case. There's a big difference between comfortable and bearable. And carrying a firearm is somewhere in the middle. As you saw the setup I carry quite a sizable setup. It's not as comfortable as not carrying it. So don't think you're going to find the perfect holster or anything that's going to make carrying a firearm as comfortable as not carrying a firearm. This past week, after I did my Cape Town in Chaos video where I spoke about the taxi strike and the chaos that ensued from that, I got a lot of questions about what the process is for owning a firearm, and this video is very important. You need to understand this video before you go and purchase that firearm, because there's no point in you spending your money and have that firearm sit in the safe and you not carry it with you and have it ready when you need it, or carry it irresponsibly. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is you will need to spend money on gear. Purchasing a firearm is the first part of an investment, okay? you're more than likely going to want a weapon-mounted light. You're more than likely going to want an optic. You might want your trigger adjusted. You might want slide serrations. You might want a multitude of different things on your firearm to maximize your capability. You will definitely need to buy more than one holster, because you'll never get the best holster the first time. Very, very few people do. I create many videos trying to help people to do that, but at the end of the day, you are going to have to cycle through different options until you find the one that works for you. Very few people are fortunate enough to hit a jackpot first time out. So not only that, also spending money on training. Training is not cheap. These people share their skills with you that they've developed over decades sometimes, that they've developed in the heat of combat, real combat. So training is an expensive thing sometimes, and it's very important to understand that it is a responsibility for you to spend money on that. I know it sounds weird. We're in a very difficult economical situation worldwide, but understand, if you're going to purchase a firearm, you are more than likely going to need to spend more money on gear and training than you think. The next thing is, guys, come to terms with the fact that most people are not going to understand your choice. At the end of the day, if you look at the farm, there are way more sheep than there are sheepdogs. Okay, the sheep don't understand why the sheepdogs have teeth until the wolves come. Right? 99% of your circle, if they find out you have a firearm, which your close circle probably will, they're not going to understand the decision. There's going to be some ridicule. There's going to be a who do you think you are? What do you think you are? That sort of thing. That is something you're just going to have to get over. At the end of the day, no one needs a policeman until they need a policeman. And the reason we carry firearms is because we can't carry policemen around with us. Now, understand this fact, accept this fact, and move on. It's not an ego battle. Don't try to prove anything to anyone, how fast you can be, what you can. It's not relevant. When they need you, they will understand. And then lastly, something that's very rarely spoken about is develop the hero mindset. I know this is contrary to what a lot of people sometimes say, and I wish it wasn't, but within your circle, if you are the protector, you have to have the mentality of a protector. You can't come in there saying, I'm going to be weak, I'm going to run away, live to fight another day, etc., etc. Develop the mindset that is one of confidence. In one of my Patreon exclusive videos, I outlined that if something must happen to Michelle, someone will have to kill me first. Okay? Because I'm the protector in this household. Right? That gives me a lot of confidence. It blankets my statement. It means when I go out, I'm fine knowing that Michelle is going to be safe or I will be dead. It's one of there is no other option between that. Michelle and I often lay in bed and we talk about what if someone breaks in. Have the confidence to say, if someone breaks into your house, that's going to be the last house they ever break into. And if there's 8 or 9 of them, probably we don't survive, but someone's going to come out there without the ability to do something that they had coming in. Right? Positive self-talk, especially for me recently with training, is one of the most vital unspoken things in the EDC community. Having the confidence to tell yourself that you are going to be capable, you are going to perform at a high level, you are going to go to that training session, you are going to do your best in training session, you're not going to be intimidated by the other guys, and there never really is anything to be intimidated by at the training session. As a firearm owner, you can't be weak mentally. Right? You're in the wrong game. You need to be really strong mentally, and that's mental strength is what is going to guide you through all the things, through the often ridicule you'll get when people don't understand why you're owning a firearm, the understanding of I need to spend this money on gear to maximize my firearm carrying capability, understanding that it's not going to be as comfortable as you would like it to be, it's going to be bearable, and then also having the courage, the wherewithal, and the lack of ego to put yourself out there, go and train and perform under pressure in front of a class of people. So there's a couple of added things I want to talk to you about as well, but those are some of the key factors about firearm ownership that I find new firearm owners aren't told when they go and purchase that firearm. And even, like I say, a lot of long-time firearm owners don't practice anymore because they've owned it for so long, they think that they are already. Let me tell you straight, firearm ownership, the ability to run your gun, is a perishable skill. Okay, the more I train, the faster and more accurate I am. When I take 2 or 3 months of training, which I don't really ever do anymore, but when I used to, and I used to come back to it, man, I'm incredibly rusty. You don't want to be rusty on the day your life or your wife's life or your husband's life, whatever it may be, or your child's life depends on it. A couple other things I want to talk to you about is get to know the law in your country. Man, I can't stress the importance of this enough. Knowing when you do and don't have to make a statement. Knowing under which conditions you have to make a statement. Knowing how to collect your own evidence after the fact. Knowing what the post-engagement process is going to be. Trust me, saving your life if you don't know what you're doing can be an enormous inconvenience after the fact. Okay, just knowing what to do 24 hours after saving your own life can make your life so much easier after the incident. Another thing, maximize physical and spiritual fitness. Physical fitness is quite simple. Carrying a firearm is not going to make you able to pull your loved one out of a burning car, or to drag them up a flight of stairs if you're in a shopping mall and you need to get them away from gunfire. You need to be physically capable. Now, I'm not saying be an Iron Man. It's not the case, but you should be able to carry your own weight and possibly carry the weight of your significant other at least. Right? As you get older, you're going to lose this ability. That's the reality of it. That's life. That's how it goes sometimes. But if you are, I'd say anywhere under 50 or under, you should be able to have the physical capacity to rescue yourself and your loved one. And then spiritual fitness is look, at the end of the day, I don't know who you pray to. That's not for me to decide, but I can tell you that I've often thought about this, and for me personally, knowing that there is a good and evil, and I'll tell you, knowing that there is an evil means there must be a good. Having the spiritual fitness to know that I'm going to act correctly gives me, it just ticks a box, and it means I have to think of one thing less. So have physical and spiritual fitness. Guys, that is it. I hope this video helped. As I said, I got a lot of new questions from potential gun owners after I posted my video about the chaos in Cape Town. Obviously, people are getting a bit scared. And with our next election coming up in 2024, the biggest election in the last 30 years, right? This is going to be a big deal. Either way, I could be wrong and I hope I'm wrong, but either way, I think there's going to be violence, no matter who wins. I think there's going to be issues. So now is a good time to proverbially pull the trigger and get yourself ready for it, and maybe purchase that firearm, get that license, get that EDC, get that license to carry a firearm, and follow these 5 steps to increase your capacity. Guys, like I said, Patreon is going crazy. I give away stuff to the value of thousands of rands every single month to my patrons. So if you want to join on that, like I said, please check the links below. That's it, guys. I'll hopefully see you next week for the Southeast Sources Cobra review. I'll see you in the week for a mail time. I'm getting something very cool that I may give away one of, and I'll give you a top tip. This thing carries body armor. So that's coming in the week. So I'll see you guys then. That's it, guys. Have a good week. Be safe, train hard. Cheers. God bless.